Hello everyone and welcome back to the online learning for National 4 and 5 Design and Manufacture. Today we're going to finish up looking at design factors by looking at something called ergonomics. Okay, so ergonomics is the last design factor I'd like you to know about, and what it involves is how humans interact with products. So what sizes of the human body do you need to know for them to interact with that product? How will they actually use the product? Will they push it, twist it, slide it? And what way will they interact with it? And lastly, how will they psychologically interact with the product? How do they know how that product works? So let's look at it in a bit more detail. So ergonomics is about the way that humans interact with products. A well-designed product will be comfortable to use and will not cause injury or strain when it's in use. It will be simple to understand, easy to grip or hold on to, straightforward to maintain, repair, and safe to use. There are three main areas of ergonomics which are considered when developing products. Now you need to know these three areas. The first one here is called anthropometrics. That is the sizes of the body that you'll need to know for the product. Part two, physiology, how humans will interact with that product. What will they be doing with the product? And lastly, psychology. How do humans understand the product? How it works, how to use it, etc. Okay, so that first one there, anthropometrics, that is the study of human measurements, and it's often presented in a graph called the normal distribution curve or the bell curve, as shown in that graphic on the right hand side. Now with these curves there are things called percentiles. Now the 50th percentile right in the middle is the average size recorded. Designers generally would not design below 5%, which is right at the bottom, or above 95%, which is right at the top, as these sizes are the extreme human dimensions. It's important to know when to choose the correct sizes to use. So for example, if you're designing a door, you might want to use the 50th percentile height, but then if you do that, people might have to duck under it to enter it if they're taller than that. So you'd want to go for a 95th percentile height, as that would be used for clearance. Similarly, if the highest shelf on a shelving unit was designed for the 95th percentile person, then many users would struggle to reach it. So generally the 5th percentile would be the one that you'd want to use for reaching there. Right, so if I go back to the page with these actors, right, so right at the bottom there is Danny DeVito. He's only 5 foot. Right? If I go along to the very top here, this actor Vladimir is 7 foot. Right? So there's a large difference between the height of those men who are very similar in age. So they can't really be designed for using the same things. Right? Their height is different, maybe their hand size is different, etc. So you have to think about the percentiles. This guy here would be the 95th percentile. Not many people are that tall. This guy here is the 5th percentile. Not many people are that small. So generally when products are designed, they design it right in the middle so that it reaches the larger percentage of people who are at that average height. The next thing is physiology. Designers have to understand the physical ability and human limitations when designing products when it comes to twisting them, pulling them, pushing them, turning them, or lifting them. So on the right hand side we've got a blue sports bottle. So the lid on that bottle is designed to be easy to open when the product is in use. Right? They've got little dents to be able to twist and pull that easier. It also has a handle incorporated which helps the user keep the product secure in their hand when they're running. Right? So they've designed it physically so that it's easy to use. The green bottle over here, the green black bottle, sorry, has an indent to provide an area for the bottle to rest in the hand, right, when you're using it. The black material around the bottle is rubber, which also helps it easier to grip. Right, so you're thinking, in what way are people going to be using this product? And if I skip back a few slides again, if you look at this jar opener, right, it can't be too tough to open. So it has to be designed so that it is easy for humans to be able to twist it. If it's too tough, people won't want to use the product. If it's too loose, the product might fall open on its own. Right? So you have to think about how people are going to be operating it. The last one, psychology. That's taken into consideration the human mind and behaviour and how that impacts on the way that we interact with products. We're naturally sensitive to light, noise, temperatures, extremes. Sorry, these extremes could make use of the product uncomfortable and difficult. Psychology can help us understand how products work, and clever design can make us trust the products are strong, durable, and fit for purpose. So if you look at that skateboard over there, the wheels and axle of that are chunky, so therefore it looks robust, bottom heavy, and it looks as if it's stable and secure to use. Right? So psychologically, it doesn't look like a product that's going to break or harm you or injure you, so people would trust that product. Colour coding is a way that they can often psychologically get people to understand products. Right? It's a very simple method of conveying information about the product. We know that a blue tap means cold water. The red button on your remote means turn the TV off. We subconsciously develop an understanding of what colour means. And using contrasting colours on a product can help the user to identify features or functions. So often they'll make buttons a different colour from the product so that people can see them straight away. So similarly, we recognise sounds and build a connection between these products. And designers make audible clicks to reassure the user that parts are locked in place, and beeps to allow you that something's changing or turned off. So like the seat belts, they click, you know that it's secure. Or if you want to turn something off, it will make a noise to allow you to see that has turned off. Okay, so using that design factor in exams, how can you answer the questions? So, from one of the past papers, this question was asked a few years ago. The market for hairdryers has increased over recent years, and designers have to consider various design factors in their designs. Part A. Describe in what ways the design of hairdryers, as shown in the photo above, could have been influenced by ergonomics. Right, so you can use any of the hairdryers, you can use all of the hairdryers, you're just talking about the way that they would have been influenced by that design factor and referencing them at the same time. So I've just taken one of them, right? So looking at those three different parts of ergonomics, I can start to answer my question looking at that product. Now there's 6 marks here, so you want to get 6 different points across the different parts of it. So anthropometrics, that's all to do with sizes. So I'd want to know the length of the handle for the palm of my hand. I'd want to know the size of the fingertips so that you can actually push those buttons comfortably. I'd want to know the circumference of the handle all the way around so that my hand and my fingers can fit around it when I'm holding it. Moving on to physiology, I'd want to know the power that is required to push those buttons. Right? They can't be too tough that it hurts my finger, or it can't be too loose that I turn it on and off by accident. Right? The slide button over here shouldn't be too hard to slide up and down on my fingers. The removable head up here shouldn't be too hard to get off. Right? So in any way, shape or form that you move those products or push them or interact with it, like this one over here, it seems to fold, so that can't be too tough for the user to pull that open. Psychology. So that's to do with how you understand how to use the product. So in this particular one, they've got different coloured buttons and they've been used from the body. Sorry, different coloured buttons have been used from the body to indicate which parts have to be pressed or slid. Right? So psychologically, I know where to touch and push this button to get it to operate. Right? And that's it. That's quite a lot of different points on ergonomics, which would easily get you the 6 marks there. Now, when it comes to your folios, if you want to talk about ergonomics, you can talk about the size of the product. Okay, how will that interact with the human body? Or you can maybe start to talk about the colours of your product. Why have you chosen this bit to be a certain colour? You know, if you're making a lid, why? How do people know that that's a lid? Is the lid a different colour from the base? There's loads of ways that you can incorporate that design factor into your folios. Now, what I'm going to get to do is I'm going to get you to try the questions on sheet 3. And if you can answer them in full sentences and upload them to your teacher, we can get them marked for you. Good luck.